I gotta disconnect and reconnect, so you gotta move me, Bill.
Why? What's wrong?
It's just because of my button setup.
Okay.
User disconnected from your channel.
Wait on him, Doug. Well, Andrew's not here yet.
User was moved to your channel.
I got you.
Good one. Welcome back to InZone Racing's first annual Sprint Car Fall Classic at Lanier Raceway. We were lined up for the feature event here. Sorry for the delay. We weren't sure exactly how long qualifying was going to go, and we had to let the session run out before we could order the feature lineup here. I do remember for the Pro Series it took us a few weeks to get the timing down, right? But we weren't sure exactly how many people were going to show up, so we made sure there was plenty of time for as many people as we needed. And we have a little announcement about qualifying. Bill, you want to cover that?
Yeah, it looked like Glenn Cray had set the fast time, and I guess Glenn thought that that was pretty much impossible for him to do that, so he went over and kicked the scoring box, and it actually spit out the correct time. So Eddie Walczyk actually took the pole with a time of 12.736, and Glenn Cray was second fast at 12.789. So yeah, we just had to figure out where we're supposed to line up here, and I think everything's good to go now.
Alright, well, we got one lap to go till green here. We are doing single file restarts. I believe the initial start's double wide though.
I was just going to point out, Andrew, that only 14 drivers actually decided to run the main event here. 20 cars did try or attempt to take times, and we actually had 29 drivers enter the qualifying server and not race. So, about to go green here.
And we want to thank Chet Wheeler. We're going green here. We want to thank Chet Wheeler again for putting up all the prizes for this event, helping set things up. It was very nice and very cool. Glenn seemed to get a little bit of a slow start there on the high side. We got Eddie Walczyk out front. Looks like Layla's going to take the early lead here. Nice little move underneath. Very clean start. Whoa, as soon as I said that, I jinxed it. We got a car on the wall in the back. Looks like the 46 of Ron Quinsel went head on in the wall. Hard hit.
That looked very hard.
Looked like Randall Robinson got a little bit loose in the middle of the corner and just didn't give Ron enough room and caught his right rear and just kind of hooked him up into the wall. Yeah, Randall actually, he got the wall on the front stretch, and we were talking about how sensitive these cars are to damage, and I believe when he got the wall, he offset the toe a little bit, knocked the tire out a little bit, and it probably was handling a little funky through the next corner.
Yeah, it just looked like he went down on Quinsel there. Just turned him. That's going to be a tough one for Ron.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a fairly clean start for double file at such a small track with these things, but, you know, again, as soon as I said it, there was a wreck. And my guess for only having 14 people show up for the feature versus the 20 that attempted to qualify was the people who didn't get much of a chance to practice. I'm guessing, you know, it being a Sunday, I think that's about the hardest part for this event is a lot of people have stuff going on, and again, the storm on the way. I'm sure plenty of people were you know, anybody up on the East Coast was spending time prepping for that, which is much more important than our little event here for sure.
I think a lot of people watching NASCAR and football on a Sunday, so it's usually a busy Sunday anyway, and now we've got a race in the middle of it, but 14 cars, not bad at all.
Yeah, especially for the sprint car, honestly, too. That's another factor in it. Is, a lot of people hate this car. We are going green, though, right now. Layla going to take us to the green flag here. Again, single file restarts. Getting down to the apron there if you wanted to. Bit of an interesting line. I've always been wary of the apron here. It usually gets you loose in any car. I'm not sure how much it would affect the sprint car, though, considering how loose it is on its own.
You know, it'll be interesting to see with these long runs, you know, 75 laps for the first session, 75 laps for the second session, if we learn anything, what kind of tire wear we get, stuff like that.
Whoa, really close call there for the 23 of Justin McClintock. Out of turn 4, he got loose, and he had to, like, take a terrible entry to turn 1. Oh, now he's around. He got in the back of Kevin Malone in the middle of 3 and 4, and Brett Waldrop got into the back of him when he checked up. But he was out of shape for a few laps there. He got a little squirrely on the front stretch and was down on the bottom, and in order to get through the corner, he had to take such a weird angle and a slow angle, and it was a bit scary for a lot of people there. But I want to... Go ahead.
Just a little bit worried about the damage on either one of those cars. It looked like Waldrop hit him pretty hard. Again, we've talked, you know, already twice about how these cars are pretty delicate, so I'm afraid that, you know, both of those guys might have some damage to their cars.
I think Waldrop might be okay. He did hit him, I think, more with the nose than the tires. Pretty much as long as you don't hit the tires, you'll be okay. But the problem with that is any contact with an outside or inside wall or door-to-door with somebody is tire contact. So,
right,
you know, square in the front, square in the back, that's about all you have to work with. I do want to point out, though, Layla was out to a pretty decent lead. Eddie kind of got a little loose out of 4 the lap before the caution, and I thought Glenn was about to take second. It looked like it cost him third by not pouncing on that opportunity. One thing with these cars especially, I mean, any of the higher horsepower, you know, more on-edge cars, one mistake or one little checkup could cost you a few spots.
Yeah, they get around here so quickly that if you do lose time, you know, you'll find yourself getting lapped pretty early in this race.
I mean, the best way to describe these cars for the less experienced as we go green here is they're like really high-powered go-karts. Like a go-kart with a jet engine is about the best way I could describe them.
And they just, even though they have gigantic tires on the rear end, it just feels like it's not enough.
Yep. Again, Layla off to a nice clean start, gets a decent gap on Eddie there in second in the 70. Now this makes me wonder if Layla's got any real-world experience. I didn't get time to do much research for this event, to be honest with you, and that's all on me. That has nothing to do with when the event was. But I'm curious to find out if she's got any real-world experience.
It's tough to do research. I mean, this was more of an open event. It wasn't, obviously, you know, it's an ITZR event, but these aren't all of the drivers, or these drivers don't always run the ITZR series. So, you know, there's no password on this event. It's just whoever wanted to come and race, they were welcome to. So it's, you know, we don't know some of these people.
Very true. We got a little bit of a battle going on for a second. It looks like Eddie's going to give way to Matthew, or at least give him the bottom lane. It seems like, I would imagine with these higher powered cars, you can get a little bit of a second lane going here and run a little bit of a higher line and get away with it when battling with somebody. I know it's tough to, in any car at this track, to come off the corner on the bottom underneath somebody and still keep your speed up, let alone in something that just wants to pretty much do donuts when you're on the gas.
Right. There's a pretty good battle going between Chet Wheeler here and Dylan Schreiner. Schreiner moving up into the, I believe, 5th position.
Yeah, that's for the 5th spot. We got a little bit of contact for 2nd. They're getting a little racy up here. Eddie was trying to pinch Matthew for 2nd. Matthew's going to complete the pass anyway. Fairly clean as far as contact in the sprint car goes. But really bunching up here. Here comes Dylan making a move for the 4th on Glenn Cray.
Yeah, Dylan Schreiner, the champion from the ITZR Lanier Sprint Car Series, definitely on the move right now. You did mention that he might be somebody to watch. He's going forward.
We may be getting a word with him later during the mandatory caution here. Kevin Malone going to try to follow suit. He gets by Glenn. Looks like he's just going to stick to Dylan's bumper. Not a bad decision here right now. And they're both going to go by Eddie Walczak in the same lap. That's for 3rd and 4th positions there. Glenn trying to follow suit. The door gets shut right in his face going through 1 and 2. Going to be a lot of that with the sprint car though, that's for sure. Layla Wilson out to a very big margin, about 2 1/4 seconds ahead of Matthew Pilas there in 2nd. It's going to be interesting to see though. Matthew was fastest in practice. Dylan, being the previous champion here, he was late to practice, and Layla being pretty quick and consistent. I gotta say she's been very consistent versus other people here. It's going to be interesting to see those 3 battle it out.
Looks like Glenn Cray got a little bit high in 3 and 4 last lap, and that carried over to being high in 1 and 2 as well, as a bunch of cars go underneath him. He's fallen all the way back to the 8th position after starting 2nd.
Must note Ron Quinzel obviously out with his hard crash. Justin McClinic called it a day too with his spin. He must have had a bit of damage from that. Brett going a lap down here. Ron Hilling, I believe, parked it. Possibly too. I saw him pulling the pits a lap ago. I don't know if he's parking or if he's got damage or something that I missed.
Yeah, I don't see Hilling on pit lane, and Waldrop is still on pit lane. So
Lee Walker now also going a lap down. Lee going a lap down on the track. I think he's going to stay out there though. Yeah, Brett probably thought his damage was a bit too much to fix, and I don't think we're going to have a caution for a while. So you know, I don't blame him for calling it there, because otherwise it's going to be a long struggle. Looks like everybody's pretty spread out through the field here. A lot of single file.
Just taking a look at lap times here, Andrew, and Matthew Pilas and Dylan Schreiner are both running faster than Layla Wilson right now.
I was just about to mention that the gap now from 1st to 2nd is down to 1.1 seconds, and Dylan went from 3 seconds down to 2 1/4. So they are closing the gap. Curious to see though if Dylan. I don't think Dylan's getting on Matt. I think they're running about the same here. You got to wonder if that's tire wear or just getting their bearings in really and getting reacquainted with the car and running here. Because I know a lot of times especially when there's a gap between qualifying and the race, first few laps of the race, you just want to take it easy and get your bearings about yourself before you go hard.
Yeah, it looks like Pilas is running faster than Schreiner right now. Schreiner actually kind of leveled off a little bit behind Layla Wilson. Matthew Pilas is running our leader down, though.
We do have a little bit of battling going on further back in the pack between 5th to 9th spot. There's 5 cars right in the line right now, but could be a little bit of excitement going on back there. We see, wow, I don't know if Doug's got the shot, but Chet Wheeler just went all the way to the apron trying to set up a move. I don't know if that was intentional or if he was trying to save it. They're spreading out a little bit now. I'm actually surprised. I guess I got my hopes up about Glenn after seeing his qualifying time. I was expecting a little more out of him here. Definitely interesting to see him in a car. He's definitely that fits his style a bit more. I guess is the nicest way I can put it. No offense, Glenn.
I don't think Glenn takes offense to anything, so I don't think you have to worry about that.
Man, Matthew's just running down Layla. We'll see how tough she makes it to pass. Again, this is a 150-lap race. We are on lap 45 right now. Mandatory caution lap 75. So she probably, my guess is she's probably going to be fairly fairly open, just letting him have the spot since he has been consistently running her down. But you never really know till they get there.
$30 in a trophy on the line, Andrew. You never know what's going to happen.
It's a good point. Must note though, second place is 25, so it's not. There's,
you want the trophy.
Granted,
you want the trophy.
That's true. That's true. The trophy is a. I can't disagree with that. It's a very good factor.
Hardware.
That's it. You got something you can show off to your buddies and have sitting on your mantle or on your computer desk or wherever you want to put it.
Coffee table. That's where I
can tell. I can tell you don't have any trophies, Bill. Matthew Pyle's getting a little loose at it too. He's seem to pick it up and get a little more aggressive. They're going to come by Lee Walker, going to put him 2 laps down.
That battle for 6th is still raging back there between Chet Wheeler, Randall Robinson, Glenn Cray, and Eric Nordoff. There, all 4 of those guys, nose to tail. Looks like Cray. Oh, he's not going to make the move right now. He's looking to get around Randall Robinson here.
Yeah, he's kind of. Glenn seemed like he got stuck by Eddie for a while when they were up front, and then Eddie actually pulled away from him, and Glenn's kind of just been wrong place, wrong time for the most part as far as the battles go. Now, the other thing we got to watch for is, they're about 9 seconds behind race leader Layla Wilson here, so 12, 13-second lap times. They're going to be going a lap down here soon, as Matthew's really closing in on Layla here, trying to make his second charge at her. She's really
about 22 laps, 21 or 22 laps before we go to the mandatory caution at lap 75. So yeah, you're right. They might be in a little bit of danger here. Might go a lap down.
And I think there is that $10 leader at halfway bonus. Don't forget that that's on the line, so she might put a little bit of a fight up. Tell you what though, she is throwing the car in a lot harder than Matthew is, and perhaps that's burning her right rear off a bit quicker. It seems like he's smoother on entry. Granted, they're about the same middle to exit, but she's definitely winging it off in there sideways. Wow, Matthew right on top of her. I think gave her a little shot out of 4, but backed out of it.
Well, you got that race for that lead. Glenn Cray was actually able to make the pass on Chet Wheeler for 6th.
Matthew all over Layla here, not able to whoa, almost takes a swing at her through 1. Again, that's just difference of braking or lifting points in these things. Looks low, almost contact there, getting really racy. She's really putting up a good defense here, guarding the bottom as best she can. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised though if Matthew gave the outside a shot while they still have the gap on 3rd place Dylan Schreiner. Once Dylan gets there though, I don't think they'll want to give up the bottom.
Yeah, even while they battle though, they're maintaining that gap on Dylan right now.
Ooh, contact between Chet Wheeler and Eddie Walchuk, I believe. No, I'm sorry, I think that was Randall Robinson. They're getting racy now because here come the leaders, and Chet now a lap down. Brett going another lap down after, looks like he came back out after a repair, about 9 laps down. But it's go time. You got the leader coming up in your mirror, and people holding you up in front of you. Time to go.
I was just going to make mention. It looked like Schreiner got held up by Wheeler a little bit there.
Yeah, and not to mention the traffic gave Layla a bit of a lead back here. She got a bit of a gap on Matthew, about half a second through all that checking up, and a little bit of, I don't want to say mayhem, it was kind of almost mayhem there.
Looks like they're putting the number 22 of Eric Nordoff a lap down.
You got a little bit of breathing room between him and Randall Robinson now. Looks like Glenn had stepped it back up. He ran down Eddie for that 5th spot. See if he's going to be able to make a move up there too. Quite a few good battles going on, despite like I said, there's not a ton of cars here because again between the weather and it being Sunday and all that. But for how few cars are, there's quite a few good battles around the track.
Looks like the 23 adjustment Clintic had made some repairs, and he's back out on the racetrack.
He's 55 laps down, though. I don't know how much you're going to want to run. I know I've done it before for points, but there's no real points on the line, so I'm not quite sure what the goal is to come back out, other than just have fun, I guess. But then again, I never remember driving a beat-up car as being fun.
There is money, prize money to be won all the way to 5th place, so maybe he's hoping for other cars getting some accidents, maybe while battling or something like that, and he can make his way towards top 5, maybe get some money out of this.
Possibility, but it's a bit of a long shot. I hope it doesn't. I hope we don't have that many people crash.
Yeah, I don't want to see that either.
Yeah, I think the last time I can remember any driver having a lot of fun with having a lot of damage was maybe about 2-3 years ago. Sandeep Banerjee in the Pro Series, or in the World Championship, winning Las Vegas with a damaged car. But that was a very unique case. Looks like Matthew able to run Layla back down, but we're about to have a mandatory caution, so she's definitely going to put up a fight now for that $10. Actually, there it is. So that's going to lock the $10 to Layla Wilson, leading the first. I don't know if she led the first lap, but she's led every lap since she's taken the lead. Great green flag run there, all the way to halfway after 2 early cautions.
Yeah, there were some cars very much in danger of going a lap down there.
I know the caution's mandatory, but I believe Kevin Malone just jumped in the pits a bit early. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, see if that's going to cost him there. Either that or the pits were open and the pace car wasn't up yet. I'm not quite sure which, but we'll see how that affects things.
I think listening to driver chat, Glenn Craig said something to Eddie Walczyk about missing pit road.
Everybody must pit, apparently. I don't remember reading that part, but again, I did wake up like right before this event. Guess I should have checked that. But tires here, you can get 4 tires and all that without losing a lap to the pace car. Looks like Glenn cleared Kevin's black flags. He did try to pit, and I believe the pace car was a little slow getting out of pit road. So he must have been ahead of it at the time.
Hey, this is a little bit of an odd circumstance here. They're going to have to be on top of worrying about making sure people... I guess it's their responsibility, though, to get in and out of the pits and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't believe it's mandatory to take tires or anything, but the way these things burn off the right rear and all that, I don't see why anybody wouldn't bother taking them, especially with us only having about 7 cars in the lead lap. Yeah,
I didn't see Eddie Walczyk take anything. He definitely didn't do a drive-through. He did stop in his pit stall, so I'm wondering if he's just going to run the whole 150 laps on a set of tires.
We're going to have to watch. There are a few people caught behind the pace car here. I guess it was wrong about being able to take 4 tires and all that. It's a little bit slower of a stop than I was expecting. Though the pace laps are fairly quick around here, I must mention. Well, it looks like we have a little bit of an issue there with iRacing throwing the green, but Glenn threw the caution. We're going to get things sorted out here. It's one thing I do love about our league is that, 9 times out of 10, if the sim screws it up, or if something happens, if there's an issue with iRacing or the caution flags coming out or something, we're pretty fair and pretty clean cut and dry about fixing all the issues here, regardless of who it affects.
Yeah, I think we do a pretty good job with that. But we'll see how this shakes out, though. Looks like Kevin Malone is going to be the leader, and he had only fallen about 3 seconds behind the leaders when we had that long green run, and had to move, go through the pack to get there. So he might be somebody to look at right now as a possible winner.
And this is definitely going to shake things up, and it's going to shorten the last run a little bit too. So we've got a few things to keep our eyes on here. Just listening to a little bit of driver chat. I apologize for the bit of silence there. I'm trying to get caught up on what's going on here.
I think there's a dispute as to when the pits opened. Now that wouldn't be a admin or in the zone racing issue. It seems like the pits opened after the leaders got past the opening, so maybe a little bit of an iRacing glitch. I'm not sure.
That would be how Eddie got himself up front, because I guess he got in the pits before a lap before everyone else. I believe we're going to go back racing with 5 cars in lead lap. It's a tough break for Randall Robinson and Glenn Cray, as they both lost a lap to the shake-up there. I'm not sure what happened to Chet Wheeler. He's I don't know if he got damaged there or something we missed, but he's 7 laps down now.
Yeah, it might not be the problem, but I did see when he and Cray were battling for position, they did make contact on the way by. And again, these cars, you make any kind of contact, you can bend them and throw the handling off completely. So maybe that was the issue. I did see that happen.
Yeah, it definitely could be a factor. And I know how tough these are to drive once you mess the cars up at all. They're tough to drive when they're perfect, to be honest. So it's I wouldn't doubt him going in and making sure he fixed everything so that he wouldn't cause any issues for the second half here.
Now the bad news with us taking time to get this all sorted out, is we're actually clicking off laps for the end of the race here. So right now on lap 86 of 150, we've unfortunately lost 11 laps into this caution period.
Yeah, it's a shame. I knew we were expecting that about 3 or 4 laps would have been gone just for throwing the caution. iRacing doesn't have any way set up right now to not count caution laps unless you feel like, as an admin, to manually count them. And I did that one time. We hosted a all-star truck race here before, and that was quite a pain. Granted, I was driving and counting laps, but man, that was a pain to keep track of all the segments and stuff.
Now it looks like Randall Robinson and Glenn Cray have been waved by.
Yeah, they're gonna. That's only right, honestly, because they got caught a lap down by the way that the pit stops and the pace car fell there. But they are gonna leave Eddie and Kevin up front. I'm slightly surprised they left Kevin up there, but at the same time, I don't think he deserves to go to the back of the pack. I think he deserves to get a spot, and there's no real way to set that up. But we are going green. The pace car drops off. We got Eddie Walczyk out front. Glenn and Randall are going to have to get by the lap traffic first also. That's not going to help them any, but I'm sure they're just glad to be on the lead lap right now. Looks like Dylan Schreiner making a move on Lila Wilson for third early. He knows 2 people he's got to beat are her and Matthew, and he's by both of them. Kevin made a little bit of a move for the lead, but Eddie's able to hold him off so far. I still think, though, the battle for third is the one we're going to have to keep our eye on closest here for as far as the win goes.
Yeah, this could get real exciting, actually, with the way that the cars are set on the track right now.
Think of it as a bit of an unintentional invert of sorts. But Kevin going for the lead on Eddie, Dylan right on top of both of them. He's going to hope for an opening. Whoa, as he almost gets clipped. Look out. Out of turn 4. Nice save by Matthew. Manages to keep it out of the wall, but that's going to cost him some time. Checked up for Dylan, not run him over there as Dylan takes second spot. Kevin Malone in the lead now.
Wait, that was scary. That was really scary.
I held my breath for a second. I thought he was going to overcorrect and catch the walls. Whoa,
oh,
we got Kevin around.
Oh, no.
That was a nice 360. He caught a piece of Eddie. We're going to have to see how that... Kevin looks like he's got more damage than Eddie does. Again, Kevin up there leading in the sprint cars, and he knows there's faster people behind him here. Well, faster in the early segment, so he just probably got a little too aggressive on throttle, which, again, is really, really easy to do in these sprint cars.
Just going back to look here.
Apparently, Chet Wheeler also spun out about the same time as that caution, but he didn't make any contact.
It just looked like Kevin overcooked one there, just went in a little hard, and then Schreiner was decided to make the move on him. Obviously, you're going to do that. given the opportunity. And just on the high side, coming off a 2, Malone just got loose and spun her around.
I'm going to keep an eye on one here, see if he's just changing tires or if he has any mandatory damage repair that's going to cost him a lap or not. I know we said we were going to bring Dylan Schreiner down to here, but these cautions at this short track are very quick, and I don't believe we're going to get a chance during the race, but I'm sure we'll talk to him after.
Yeah, getting word that Kevin has quite a bit of damage on that number 10 GoDaddy sprint car, so probably looking at a long stay in the pits now, and his chances to win are gone.
He has just lost 1 lap, but he knew what he had to do. He knew he had to give that car everything he had to make sure he stayed ahead of Dylan and all that during that battle there. But Dylan now gonna take the lead out of that mayhem. Eddie's staying out on track with the little bit of damage that he may have, but I think he got away relatively clean with that hit. He had pretty square in the front, so he should be all right. Now the question is, we got about 50 laps to go, or we will when we restart. Is that enough time for Dylan to get a gap on everybody, or do you think Layla and Matthew can run him down?
Well, he's got Walczyk there as a little bit of a buffer, so I think maybe Dylan can get away with this one.
Green in the air as we come out of turn 4. Dylan gets a nice jump on Eddie there for a second.
You know, Walczyk was our pole sitter.
That's a good point. So he's definitely quick on the hot lap. Dylan getting loose out of 4. He's got to keep his head about him here. Keep his head on his shoulders here. You don't want to get too antsy and do the same thing Kevin did and lose the lead that way. Especially because Dylan has been one of the faster drivers here, and is again the previous champion of the Lanier sprint car races.
Yeah, did you see if Dylan took any tires or anything when they went into pit? If he had what kind of service he had done?
I believe everybody took 4. Actually, I'm pretty sure everybody took 4 tires.
Walczyk did.
Oh, that's a good point.
See, I think that's
Dylan's
problem right
Dylan
now.
just disappeared. Oh man, he's going to be bummed if his connection went out. It looks like it's scoring him. It's scoring Eddie now as the leader. Dylan's connection going as the leader. Man, he is not going to be happy.
We are not going to hear the end of that for a while.
Yeah. Well, battle now.
That's disappointing.
Battle now between Eddie and Layla for the first, with Matthew right on their heels there. And that is such a shame. Well, I think we found our Tough Luck Award.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, I hate to make light of it, but I think it's pretty clean and cut dry assumption that he's going to get the Tough Luck Award out of that. Nothing worse than being the leader and having your connection drop.
Yeah, that is...
And this battle really heating up for the lead. Again, I'm surprised Matthew hasn't tried the outside on anybody yet just to see if there's anything up there, but seems very determined to just hook it around the bottom and wait for an opening.
Cray just spun around, did a 360, and kept on going. Didn't lose.
No caution, no. Three-way battle for first. That's the only action we got going on the track at the moment. Man, Matthew, he's very aggressive on corner entry versus other people here. It's almost like a scare tactic to try to get somebody to screw up without actually making contact with them. And it depends on whether they're running mirrors or not here, because I know the sprint car doesn't have one in its stock, but this is iRacing, and you can put a virtual mirror on if you so choose, and I'm guessing everyone is running one. But but I know one thing: when you got somebody hot on your heels, you need to not watch your mirror. Just listen for your spotter to say when they're there. He's gonna make almost contact. Layla got loose out of turn 2. Matthew able to set her up.
I mean, you've been watching it. We've both been watching it. I mean, he was throwing that car here going into the corners. I'm shocked. That's just some really special driving right there that he didn't spin her out.
I must say the save he made earlier between that and how close this racing has been without any contact it's amazing to me. I got to give my tip of the hat to Matthew. Very, very clean driver here. Very talented with the sprint car, and Eddie giving up the bottom right away. I'm surprised at that. I thought he was going to try to hold Matthew up a bit, but kind of just opened the door right up for him. But shut the door on Layla. Little contact, no caution. Layla's going to lose his third spot to Randall Robinson. Now it's a four-way battle.
Randall Robinson getting through the middle of the corner very quickly right now. He hasn't let these cars get away.
I think Matthew's got a bit of a buffer now, though. He definitely was faster than Eddie. I think Layla was going to be his only challenge, and now she's back in fourth spot and stuck behind Randall and Eddie at the moment. It's a tough break. I'm surprised, though. Eddie opened up the door for Matthew, and then he immediately tried to slice in and shut the door on Layla, and then I don't quite understand that move. I don't understand why he would have opened it up in the first place so easily.
Right, just kind of gave it away there.
I mean, it would have been tough to hold him off for 30-some laps that we had left at the time, and we got 30 to go now, but it would have been really tough to hold him off for that long, but I don't understand, you know, if he opened the door for him, I don't understand why he didn't leave the door open. But Layla is back in the third.
Yeah.
She's all over him. She's probably not happy about that move, and I don't blame her one bit. So keep your eye out for contact here. Whoa!
Oh, and there it is. You
called it.
And she's around as well.
Not what I was expecting. I was expecting more of a shot, a square shot to the back to kind of, you know, let him know, hey, I didn't like that move. But got into turn 3 a little bit hot, and you know, he didn't give her a ton of room on the bottom either, and they just kind of met in the middle. Does apologize for that accident though immediately in the chat here. Looks like both Layla and Eddie are going to pit. I don't blame them. We'll see if they're able to grab tires here. Actually, I don't think they were caught up to the pace car enough to get tires in this stop. Keep an eye on that, see if they're able to do anything with it. I don't believe... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Walczyk did make contact with the wall, so he's probably got some damage on that car, and it's not going to drive right anymore, so he's probably going in to do some repairs.
That's true, and they did, the initial contact between them was wheel to wheel, and Eddie did hit, like you said, against the wall. I would say on the driver's side, but technically the driver's in the middle of these things, so I'll say the left side of the car, off the wall.
I think one thing we've learned about the sprint car is while it is a over-horsepowered go-kart, it is as fragile as any car. It is as fragile as any car on the iRacing service. So you do make any kind of contact with anything, and you know you're in the pits. Well,
definitely going to be interesting here. Layla was able to get, I don't know if it was 2 or 4. That's one thing that that you're not able to tell just by looking. But by the amount of time on pit road, I believe it was 4 tires. So she's going to be restarting 4th. It's going to be interesting. Got a little bit less than 25 laps when we go green here. I'm going to see if she's able to do anything with Matthew, able to run him down here. It's going to be tough, though, because you know he's going to be on it from the restart.
Yeah, Walczyk is still in pit lane. Wheeler is currently, he was in the pits as well. He's coming out of the pits, I guess. I'm trying to say.
Easy for you to say, right?
Matthew Pilot is actually blinking a little bit here. Hopefully he doesn't have the same fate that Dylan Schreiner did, where he's having connection issues as well.
If that happens, then I think it's safe to say that it's not good to be the leader.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll see how quickly Layla's able to get by Robinson and Cray here. Whoa, as she gets a little aggressive there on Robinson, makes a mistake going into 3. I think he was going to just give her the spot, and she didn't expect it. And I know I've been there a few times. Somebody going to give you the spot, and you go to follow their line into the corner, and then they all of a sudden slow up extra and go a bit higher than you expect, and about run them over. But she is up to 3rd now, and Glenn in 2nd spot. Attrition, man, it's definitely a factor in any racing.
Well, I'm not sure if it's attrition with Glenn. You know, I was just about to mention that you had said when he was in 8th place, you were disappointed on his with his performance, and he is currently running Pilots down right now for the lead.
It's a good point. He is turning some quick times right here. I'm not sure if Pilots is distracted by his connection issue. We got a little bit of extracurricular activity there around Layla. Eddie had come out of the pits 4 laps down and kind of held her up for a lap there, and now he's giving it all he's got to hang with her. I guess he's fairly upset about that earlier incident.
I'd imagine he would be upset. I mean, he was running in the top 5, looking at some money, coming out of this, and now he's not there. So
Glenn got a little loose out of turn 2. That's gonna cost him some time on the leader, and we'll see if he's able to hold Layla off, as she's now closing in with about 15 laps to go. Yeah, definitely. I need to apologize to Glenn. I don't mean to insult his abilities here. He's definitely, especially in the sprint car, he's definitely got some talent. He just, I must admit, he's usually conservative, and I guess that's what he was doing early in the race, was taking it easy and making sure to avoid the mayhem. And now he is loose into 3. Maybe that's why he wasn't driving aggressive. The car's all over the place. Layla almost hooked his left rear, getting loose out of 4. So this is a heck of a battle for second.
yeah, I think what we're looking at is a guy driving the wheels, literally driving the wheels off his car right now.
Yeah, followed by a girl who's got a bit fresher tires. That's not an easy spot to be in.
With about 10 laps to go, Matthew Pilas is drawing away and making this one a little bit of a snoozer here for the lead.
Yeah, but decent battle for second, and Matthew's connection also solidified. He's not blinking anymore, so I don't think we have to worry about him getting affected by the same thing that cost Dylan there. You know, I was hoping to interview Dylan after the race, but I'm not sure it'd be PG enough for the broadcast here. I don't blame him one bit. Whoa, Glenn loses it in the 3, collects Layla. Oh man, he overcorrected trying to keep out of the inside wall. That's a tough break for both of them. Randall's going to sneak in a second out of that. Definitely was not expecting that. Yeah, Glenn just got a little too aggressive on throttle coming out of turn 2, and he chased it all the way down to the inside wall and just overcorrected a bit.
You mentioned Randall Robinson, definitely going to be the beneficiary of that one, as he's going to move into 2nd place.
Layla saying she's done. I don't know if that's if she got a meatball flag. By the way, for those who don't know, a meatball flag, nickname for it anyway. Basically, you have enough damage that you are black flagged and you must repair the damage before returning to the racing action. So we'll see. Yeah, she does hot down pit road, so I'm guessing her and Glenn both have meatball flags. So that may cost them a few more spots here. Eric might sneak into a 3rd place finish from a lap down.
A meatball flag is a black flag with a giant orange circle in the center, thus the meatball.
Well, just to make the caution exciting, Matthew is blinking again, so we're going to have to make sure his connection doesn't go before it's over.
We can't have that happen twice in one race. I just don't think it would be right.
Yeah, that's kind of that's one of the factors of online racing. We don't have mechanical breakdowns as far as the vehicles go, but we do have mechanical breakdowns as far as computers go, and then mechanical issues, so to speak, as far as the internet goes. So there's a few factors to make up for it, for what we're missing in real life. Layla, actually, I'm surprised she's taking blame for Glenn's mistake. She said she should have gave him more room, but I mean, that was, I'm going to put that on Glenn, and he takes blame himself. He said that was completely on his own.
Yeah, watching the replay, I can't see where she would say that.
Well, we're going green out of turn 4 right now as we speak, but not sure if Randall will be able to do anything. There's only 2 laps left. Matthew, again, blinking, got out to a nice jump. 1/10 of the second lead almost.
Did it almost seem that green flag kind of snuck up on everybody? Was even us.
Yeah, well, I thought it was going to end under caution for sure, but I think we're going to have a green flag finish despite that. Well, I must
White
take back
flag.
some of what I said earlier about attrition and being able to sneak a top 5 out of it. Well, that's the end of it right there. Matthew Pyle is taking the win. Randall Robinson in second. Eric Nordoff from a lap down. Canadian driver in third. Eddie Walczyk in fourth, and Layla Wilson able to limp that car around to a 5th place finish. It's a tough break again for her and Glenn, but I still think Dylan deserves the Tough Luck Award as he was leading when his internet decided to die.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But Matthew gonna sneak in and steal the $30 of iRacing credits and the event trophy. I must say though, honestly, he seemed like the most consistent on long runs and deserving win for Matthew regardless of how things played out.
Yeah, only 2 cars ended up on the lead lap, which is kind of shocking, I guess, because there was so much good racing happening between the 14 guys that did race. So and lady,
yeah,
really good race. It was really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, it's one of those factors between this car being sensitive to damage and all that. It's easier to spread the field thin with attrition. I mean, some of those crashes you saw, you know, like for example Eddie Walczyk, he spun out and he hit the driver's side or left side of the car against the wall a little bit, and in a stock car that probably would have been a light enough hit to get it out there and still be somewhat competitive with it, but in the sprint car, that's 4 laps of repair.
Yeah, so we agree that Dylan Schreiner will win the Hard Luck Award.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying. We're going to see if we could catch up with Glenn Cray there. We're going to have to ask him about that little incident. I'm sure he's not going to be too thrilled with himself on that one.
The first guy out of the money, Glenn Cray.
But host of the event, though, Glenn, you got a copy, boss? Well, he is here, but he's not here.
Glenn, are you there?
We'll see if we get him in a second here. But yeah, he's definitely going to be disappointed with that. As you said, first guy out of the money, but I'm sure he's fairly happy with how the event went, despite a little bit of a small car count due to a bunch of circumstances, really. I think it was a fairly exciting race. A little bit of a disappointing ending versus the excitement of the race itself, but it was pretty fun to commentate.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I had fun watching it.
Glenn, this is Andrew up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, I do, Andrew.
Glenn, we saw you made a heck of a comeback. You struggled a little bit early in the race. I don't know whether that was you taking it easy or not for the first half. I know you're normally pretty conservative and wait for the later half of the race to get aggressive. But you're up in second spot the way things are shaking out, and you know, trying to hold off Layla for second, and you know, lost it on the backstretch. I'm sure it's disappointing, but you know, was that handling? Was that your tires going away, or was that you just getting a little aggressive?
It was probably a combination of all 3 things. These cars are definitely a handful. 150 laps. That was pretty darn chaotic. But yeah, I think I was just probably trying too hard. A lot of laps on the tires. The car was becoming a little bit unpredictable, and just got the best of me.
Yeah, I mean, if it had gone green there, do you think you would have been able to hold off Layla for second?
I don't know. She was tough. My preferred line is right on the bottom, and that's where I get the most speed. So, you know, I wasn't blocking. I was right on my line, and I'm not sure if she would have found a way around me or not. But it was certainly fun while it lasted.
It was definitely exciting. You know, I know. Just out of curiosity, your opinion, since you were out there on track and you saw the paces of everybody, do you think, side note, Dylan Schreiner disconnecting there mid-race, having some issues, do you think he would have been able to hold off Matthew, or do you think Matthew would have pulled that off? Just curious.
You know, Matthew's darn fast, but so isn't Dylan, so that would have been a flip of the coin. They're both super talented in these cars. So I'm not sure how that would have gone.
And we do thank you for putting on the sprint cars every week and the special events. Special thanks, obviously, to Chet Wheeler for putting up the money and helping with this event. Glenn, how disappointed are you, though, that you had a solid position in the top 5 and, you know, one little slip, you know, it's all gone.
In the money.
In the money.
Yeah, it's real disappointing to get to lap 142, 143, whatever it was, and then have something like that happen. It was just, you know, brain fade, whatever you want to call it. It hurts a little bit. It was no one's fault but my own. So, yeah, those ones hurt the most. But I do want to just shout out for all the guys that drive in the series and the people that showed up tonight. I mean, this was a lot of people doubted 150 laps in the sprint cars on this track, and I'll tell you what, there was some really good racing. I was watching some really good racing ahead of me, behind me, beside me. These cars are really cool here. I wouldn't want to race 150 laps all the time in these things, but every now and then that was a ball.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of fun out there, and a heck of a challenge too between this vehicle and this track. Really, I mean, the sprint car at any track is tough, but it seemed like a lot of fun out there. Glenn, is there anyone you'd like to thank before we get you out of here?
Well, I definitely want to, you know, thank you guys for helping out with this. It's awesome. Doug Geiler always puts on a great job broadcasting, and the Zone Racing is the best league going. A couple of the sponsors for our sprint car league, the Von Erichs. You know, those are all guys that help us out week in, week out.
All right, Glenn, thank you very much for the interview. We're going to see if we get a word with the number 10 of Kevin Malone. Ends up 10th spot, dropping out after a wreck earlier. Kevin, you there, bud?
Yeah, I got you, Andrew.
Kevin, very disappointing. You had a pretty good run going, and the way circumstances worked out with that caution, you ended up with the lead. And then got yourself into a little bit of trouble while leading, spun out trying to, you know, just drive her hard, it looked like. Is that just being a bit too aggressive on throttle out of turn 2, or, you know, what caused that there?
No, that was just that was my fault. I heard Dylan under me, and I didn't want to arc down too much, so it screwed up my line. I just got up too high. I want to say I'm sorry to Eddie for collecting him in that. That was 100% on me.
Yeah, I don't think that incident hurt Eddie too much. If it makes you feel any better, I think the next one was what did him in there. But you seemed like you had a good run going. You think you would have had anything for those well, my top 3 based on the way the race was going? I would say Dylan, Matthew, and Layla. You think you had anything for those?
Yeah, I think me and Dylan were just hanging back there. That first 75, we were holding it back like 3.5 seconds behind the leader. I was just cruising, wanting to make it to the pit stop and then start going. And then I started running some better laps, and I got under Eddie finally. And then I just mentally lost it there on the outside. Pushed it too hard into one, and I didn't want to come down and take Dylan out, but just lost it.
Yeah, it seemed like you had a really good car, and again, you know, kind of like Glenn, you were, as you said, holding back in the first half, which is why I kind of like the mandatory caution at halfway. It kind of makes for a bit of an interesting race, because you have the people who go for it all the time, and then you have the people who are going to wait till halfway to make their move, and you know, it gives you a little bit more of an unknown for the finish. But Kevin, I must say, you definitely did a great job of representing the Danica Patrick colors by crashing. Just letting you know.
Oh,
Thanks.
I had to throw that in there. That was terrible.
I couldn't resist. I apologize to any Danica fans. Honestly, I must admit I was fairly impressed with her. Well, prior to her trying to wreck Landon in the Cup race, I was fairly impressed with her nationwide race at Kansas. But anyway, back on topic, Kevin, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Glenn for putting it on, and Chet for throwing up some money, him and his team there. Of course, you guys for broadcasting, and Doug for putting the show on so we can get some good races out for guys.
I know I enjoy the broadcasting despite how much I like to race, but I haven't run the sprint car enough lately to really trust myself out there. I probably would have done what you did about 5 times in the first half. So I wasn't wasn't thrilled to miss a race, but at the same time, I think I would have been in the way. Definitely glad to broadcast here, especially with Bill. Bill, it was fun.
Absolutely. I had a good time.
I must apologize, though, for my intro and everything during qualifying, because as I said, I had just woken up, and, you know, you got to love working grave shift at a casino. It definitely messes with your schedule for other stuff, but...
you should probably apologize for everything you said.
That's a good point. I apologize for this whole broadcast. No, it was fun. Great. I got to thank ITZR for putting it on, and you know, obviously Glenn and Chad again for Chet putting up the money, and Glenn, you know, hosting all the sprint car stuff. You could learn more at inthezoneracing.com for anyone interested. There's plenty of fun leagues over there. You know, there's Truck Series. I don't know if Nationwide is coming back or not. I guess, Bill, you'd be a better one to ask about that. But
yes,
we have
soon.
It is coming back. Okay.
Soon.
Soon, he says, just like iRacing. But yeah, we got sprint cars, we got trucks, we got street stocks, Nationwide, plenty of late model stuff. You know, SK Modified, I believe, also on Sundays, or is that Saturdays? I may be mistaken, but a lot of great short track racing. If you're a fan of great battles and great short track action, In the Zone Racing is the place to be.
And again, congratulations to Matthew Pilas for winning this event, and remember to get your Von Erich's music off of iTunes.
Just to recap before we go, top 5 finishers: Matthew Pilas, Randall Robinson, Eric Norduff, Eddie Walczek, Layla Wilson was your top 5 in the money. Glenn Cray, first one to miss out. Sorry, Glenn. Fastest in qualifying, I believe, was Eddie Walczek. Leader halfway was Layla Wilson. She's going to grab $10 out of that. Hard Charger, I actually forgot to check this one. Bill, do you have the lineup handy?
I do not, unfortunately.
Let me just take a quick look here. That's going to be a close one. I'm going to have to look at the results. I think it may go to Eric Nordoff, 7th up to 3rd. I don't see anyone that really gained a bunch of positions other than him. I'll have to double check on the results. Tough Luck Award obviously going to Dylan Schreiner, disconnecting while leading. There's nothing worse than that.
Actually, Nordoff started 7th.
Yeah, he started 7th and finished 3rd. I believe that's the most spots gained. But, Bill, anything you want to say before we send it off?
No, I think we're good. Actually, I just wanted to mention that the Hard Charger is actually a tie.
Well, we may split that
like
5 and 5.
Yeah, it looks like Matthew Pilas, Randall Robinson, and Eric Nordoff all started nose to tail and went through the field together.
Oh, that's a good point. We may have to split that 3 ways then. Don't know how you split $10 into 3s, but
we'll leave it to Glenn to figure it out.
Yeah, Glenn will take care of that. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for In the Zone Racing, the first annual Sprint Car Fall Classic. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm sure we'll be doing this again next year, if not sooner. We may have another one between now and then, but definitely a fun event. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and sign up next time, anyone who's watching.